Oh, I thought it was one and done, but need to do a few things about the reception that, one thing I don't remember are the speeches. I can't remember what day it was either or what year, but look at this guy's beard. Good night. You can cut a, wow. That's stuff that'll never happen. Anyway. But I imagine Rich did, but I hate being the center, and if people got up, I don't recall. That's when I get uncomfortable and go for, all eyes are on you, and, oh, God, I don't know. But it was interesting. I mean, we had fun, because we had a fun, Liza was Mick's bridesmaid, and Liza was, as much as Dave Galen was a character, Liza was a character. And just there are no memorable stories with Liza, except for the 30 days in the hole that she said, don't do it, advising me not to get out of the car to run over to find out what Mick or what Ray was talking to the police about. But Liza was just one of those. She was not the center of attention. She was just the center of energy. And, oh my gosh, she was a Princeton gal. I don't know if that meant anything, but she was a good sailor and smart. Oh, was she smart? Yeah, so she was the wedding party was fun because I had Dave Galen. Who was in the wedding party? Oh my God. Rich? Oh my. Hold on. Oh, this is bad. I don't think we had anyone else in our wedding parties. It was just Rich and Liza? It just doesn't sound right. But I know I must be missing something. But I can't think of anyone else it'd be. It wasn't Dave and Sue. Dave was, no. They were invited, but I wonder if that's the only one. And then Larry and Dave Galen were the not groomsmen, ushers. Oh my God, that's weird. But yeah, I mean, for the first wedding, it was Tom Bloodgood, Alan was in it, Rich, Tom Pluty, who was a no-show, and Rick Hayes, which was a show, but Jenny, she was pregnant, didn't come. Yeah, so I had groomsmen that didn't even show up to my wedding, and I can understand why. Tom was probably like, I'm not good friends with this guy. Why is he inviting me? Because Deb was pregnant too at the time. But they sent out a life-size cutout of both of them and said, hey, wish we were there, but we can't. And I get it. I really do. And it's cringeworthy to think back on how I thought all these people were such a big part of my life. Because they are a big part of my life. But it was a one-way mirror by all means. So, again, my tiny little head, if I know the person, they're important to me. But it is a completely inversely proportional viewpoint of the relationship. Anyway, that being said, so we had the sailing friends were pretty funny. I can't. Oh my God! But Mick's whole boat, Ian and I'm trying to remember the names. I can't remember the names at the spur of the moment. But and then there's a guy that I gotta remember his name. Patrick. Patrick was there. he had like Patrick Fitzgerald, but he was a total Irish guy, and he would tell the stories that would just get everyone rolling. So when you're rail meet during a race, you just sit on the side and let the back of the boat do what they have to do, and nothing going on at the front of the boat. Patrick was their bowman and doing foredeck, but he would tell the stories that he talked about his dog, and he goes, the conversation started getting about farting, and he goes, no, my brother had the worst in the world. He goes, no, you guys don't get it. He farted one time and the dog threw up. And I've told that so many times I can't laugh anymore, but when he told us that, I don't think we could move for about 10 minutes because it just kind of painted the picture that needed to be said. But Patrick was one of those where, and then he'd look at us like, what did I say that was funny? He goes, no, that's how bad my brother's farts were. But we had the conversations on high side during a race, or even the long-term races, were just priceless. And I did, for the 1 year, that might have been the year that Raven got taken out at the beginning of the season, so I raced with Decoy for half the year and got to know their crew really well. And I'm pretty sure that was 2000. Oh man, 6, 5? I don't know. But got the boat back for Mac, whatever year that was. But I broke my leg 1 year. I don't know. It's weird. I can't. 2005 and 6 were 7's clear as day. That's when everything came unraveled. But now I can't remember about the Mac and stuff. Anyway. But Patrick at the party was fun, and this will be a real short thing, but yeah, Pat. Oh, so you're all sitting on high side, and you've got extremely intelligent people that you need to keep busy. So the conversation would be movies that start with M. So they got Moonraker and go through, and it's like, okay, films made in Chicago. You go through, but that was the type of conversation. And then you'd carry that thought, and then later on in the day, all of a sudden, someone would yell up, about last night. Oh yeah, that's a good Chicago one. I forgot about that. Anyway, it was neat. It was just good stuff to fill in when life was giving you issues. It was the mortar that kept life kind of interesting. But oh god, mixed folks looked terrified. They were worried that Dina was going to act out, and then that whole drama. See, I'm forgetting a lot of the drama that Mixed Family brought to the whole show. I mean, they owed us money. Dina and Ron owed us money. Oh god, they're just sick. I don't get people. Oh, and then Montgomery Street. Hold on. It was like, yeah, Montgomery Street. They played at our wedding, and I go to the site, and it was like, this isn't them. So hold on. Just do a little thing on Russ that he was in Montgomery Street. But I don't know why. I praise the guy because from a secular standpoint, he is just a neat guy. But he, from the important things in life, I think he's kind of swinging the bat and missing. But anyway, he's an interesting character. But I was trying to find the link to his guitar. I can't find anything about the band. He and his second wife, or it's not his third wife, she's real neat. Hold on. Here we go. This is the Montgomery Street. So, yeah, there's Russ and Dave. This guy's the only one I knew. Well, I kind of knew these guys. And they would play at the back of the Mac party. So Foley was an integral part of the Back from the Mac. In fact, the inception of Back from the Mac party came because Larry was dating Janet Weber, and she had a party for Larry on his, I think, 60th birthday in 2001 or 2000. And I was on the boat, but I didn't go to the party because I was something. But yeah, the Back from the Mac thing. And so the band always played. They're the iconic band that always played. But they came to our wedding and charged us full fare. Which, it's one of those, you're not mad, but you thought, oh, you might get some. But, Russ, that's a weak link. Even though I race with him and everything else. But these guys wanted, they spent a whole Saturday hauling up the van with all the instruments and set up. We actually helped them. No, not for the wedding, but we'd help them break down at the Back from the Mac. But they would play a lot at the yacht clubs for the regattas. But they had ice cream, cigarettes and ice cream. It was one of their songs that was pretty neat. They, hold on. Well, I can cut this out. This is the one I have. Oh, French fries and ice cream. Cigarettes and ice cream. We gotta give it a little tribute. It's only $3.23. Why'd you make it $3.22? There you go.
On vacation with my family across the USA. We were cruising in the caddy about 500 miles a day. We stopped in California and we grabbed a bite to eat. In a treehouse in a playground I discovered quite a treat. I met a little girl as I remember dressed in red. She gave me some of her French fries and ice cream. French fries and ice cream. Well,
Alright, that's all we needed to hear. But, the release, we were on this. It was, they took a boat out. Oh, right there. But, yeah, we went out. I cooked for this. I don't know how it worked out, but the gal who set this thing up came to me and she goes, I hear you cook meals for your boat. I go, yeah. And she goes, well, can you cook for this thing? So I did. And I made sandwiches and all this. It's one of those little, you rent the boat, you go out and you have a little party on the water. And when I brought all the food to this thing, she goes, wait a minute, you can't bring mayonnaise. I go, why not? Then she goes, where's your license? There's a little bit of miscommunication because I guess technically I was serving food to the public and then I had to be registered or have my, that everything's cooked in a clean environment. And like, well, you don't know me very well. I cooked it back at Oak Park. So, but it was a to-do. This gal was worried that people were going to get, and I understand her concern, but I was just like, oh, make a bunch of sandwiches for this gig? Oh, yeah, it was fun. And, oh, God, it was. But, yeah, I took a little boat out, and they had their CD release. Oh, I wish there were photos, though. And that's about it for the weddings. I mean, that's just sad, I guess. The only memorable story about the first wedding was, it was down in Lafayette, and it was at the, oh God, it was like one of those people's church. Not Reverend Sun Young Moon type, but a Church of the Federation. And, her dad and I wanted to have it at Ross 8, of course, in which it got nixed. But, it was, where was that's Federated Church. And so there were a couple hundred people, like 250, 280, because of her family and her dad. And and a bunch of people from Houston came up, Lynn and Dave, and and the thing is, I could barely remember that they even came. Then a bunch of 4 guys from CTL with Bach, John, which was surprising. But all these guys, 4 guys from CTL showed up. And the thing with CTL is I had quit because Jane convinced me that it was unfair that I had this job and to start out fresh. So I took the job in Madison at Osmos, which I've already talked about a couple times, but just a refresh, that turned out that my boss was a guy that Ray was dating at the time, and we're, 10 years from even knowing who we were, but all the 1 degree of separations going on. Anyway, when I left CTL, I told Ethel, she goes, well, do you have any parting words before you take home version of CTL? And I said, I guarantee you I'll be back within a year. I told her that. And it was only 3 weeks later that it was falling apart. I was not handling life well. And Jane was zero help with finding an apartment. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I had to get up at 3 in the morning and get up to Madison, and I'd show up before everyone else that lived in town. And after work, go find an apartment. And when I did, I'd stay in town, and I drank wine like it was, Gatorade. And showed up late one day because I couldn't find the car, and it was bad. It was bad. And they had me take a physical because I think they were concerned about things. I got my liver tapped on quite a bit by the doctor, and it went thunk. And I don't know if it was a good thunk or a bad thunk, but it went thunk. And so, they didn't get the contracts they're supposed to, or didn't say they did. And so one day I hauled out. I just called up Hans and said, is my desk chair still warm? He said, yeah. I said, then he goes, well, I got to know now, because we're hiring a guy this afternoon, or we're giving him an offer. I go, no, I'm in. And that was when John Friezak was the new president, so he knew nothing about me, and I'm sure Hans went to him. He goes, look, this guy just left. He wants to come back. Is it okay? John said, sure. If you like him, yeah, that's fine. But there's so much hinging on that little escapade. But I got back into CTL, and Jane was just, zero help. She never went up to Madison to help look for an apartment. And God only knows what she did. But it was I'd come back, and I'd drink on the way back. And I know that you could smell it. And she was just like, you've been drinking? I said, well, yeah. And it was bad. It was just bad. So we had to move out. We were, of course, gave a notice at the one apartment, had to find another apartment. And that's where we moved on to a Main Street apartment. In fact, we don't need to do all that. But yeah, moved on to Washington, and oh my God, it was just so bad. And she what? I gotta call it like it is. She was just worthless, absolutely worthless at doing anything that involved anything. She'd mow the lawn when my back went out, recovering from surgery. I had to pull out the mower, and it was an electric mower, and put it all together, and she'd mow, but then she'd leave it out there, and she couldn't put it away. And I'm sorry, that's just beyond handicapped but that's like her dad. Her dad was exactly the same way. Now this is turning into a rant against Jane, which I didn't want to do, but energy's there. Gotta burn it. But her dad was the same way. He knew people how to fix things. That's it. He could mow the lawn, and he was a meticulous lawn keeper and everything else, but when it came to anything else, he knew a plumber how to fix things. And I'm sure as an old football player that he knew. Jane just didn't know anyone, and she just never did anything. Oh, God, it was so bad that just, and then, so you could, for me to say something was impossible. So I'd just take it out on, and not talk. And she said, well, tell me what you want me to do. And it was like, well, if I have to tell you, then it kind of defeats the purpose. Well, tell me what I should say. Well, that kind of defeats the purpose. If I have to tell you what to say, then what do you want me to do? It's like, well, I don't know what to do. It's just like, oh my God, this is good. Oh. Anyway, hopefully that was a flash burn of energy, because I don't want to turn into that hole. But best way to describe Jane, she took every one of her father's bad traits and none of her mother's good ones and ran with them. So on that note, I'm out.